You might be surprised how even professional designers and business people make this mistake. They see a new piece of technology and they bring a product to market without actually thinking about the people who are going to use it and why. So the big purpose of this is to talk to the community you're actually trying to serve. There's no better way to do that than to just talk to them. So our topic is going to be the use of social media.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to find out about Jared's use of social media today. So a good interview is probably going to be broken into two parts. The first part is where I'm going to try and determine basic demographic data for my subject. I'm going to try and kind of profile him, figure out who he is, like, probably later it might be really helpful for me to categorize him. Now, Jared's experience is individual and unique. I don't want to place him in a bucket or a label, but it is helpful for me to identify trends. And if he identifies a group that he places himself in, like if he says, I use social media a lot, I'm a heavy user, that's good for me to know. You guys understand? So I don't want to ever label Jared, but if he's going to self-identify, then my next question is, what does a heavy social media user mean to you? Great. So for 5 minutes, I'm going to ask broad and general questions. And to ask broad and general questions, you use these keywords. You guys ready for these keywords? How? Why? What? Where? When? When do you log into social media? When do you do this? Where do you do it? Where do you log into social media? Why? All those things. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Then once you're done, you need to move on. And this is where a lot of students mess up. They don't want to ask anything interesting. They just want to profile them and then move on because it's uncomfortable to ask somebody something important. So then for the next half of the interview, you ask why. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you guys read in the literature that I've given you, a good strategy is to ask why 5 times in a row. 5 successive times in a row. Make sense? Okay. You ready to start, Jared?
Yes.
It's really good to document as much as your subject feels comfortable. Some people are very sensitive talking about certain issues. For example, we had a number of students interview people about their kids. They didn't want documentation of their kids floating around. So make sure you clear all your documentation strategies with your interviewee ahead of time. But yes, the more you can capture, the better. Audio, video, notes, just about anything. Where he's sitting, his posture. Nonverbal communication is useful too. This is why students get different results when they interview somebody over email. Don't they? Yeah. I don't have time to think about it and write an email. It's very different than like, ooh, I don't know, right? Oh, that person's nervous. Think about how much that's telling me without necessarily thinking about what the answer is. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, let me come here and I'm going to set just a quick timer for about 5 minutes. And this first 5 minutes is where I'm going to try and find out as much information as I can to profile him. Sound good?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So we're here today to talk about social media and your use of social media. Okay. You need anything? You okay?
I'm good.
Okay, water.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Great. So quick, I've got some just basic questions for you,
Okay.
just so I can get a kind of clear picture of who you are.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, 38. That's
It was
great.
just my birthday in January.
Oh, happy birthday. Nice. Did you celebrate? What did you do?
did. I went out to dinner.
You went out to dinner?
I did.
Oh, was it a nice dinner?
It was. It's a restaurant called Osmanthus in Oakland.
Oh my God.
It's really good.
What kind of food is it?
It's like sort of like a, I'm gonna say like Pan Asian sort of thing. And so they do a lot of traditional dishes,
Yeah.
but like really California. So it's all like fresh, local ingredients, stuff like that.
That sounds
It's really good.
That sounds really good.
It's really quite good.
Did you how'd you find out about it?
That is a great question. I don't remember. It was probably online.
Yeah.
Because I do have a pattern of looking, let's say Yelp.
Uh-huh.
Google and Yelp are the two that I'd say I use for general restaurant searching. And I
Yeah.
used to live in China, which I may have told you before, but like,
Oh my God.
so when I live in the Bay Area, finding really delicious Chinese food is a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Like they're really delicious, authentic, good taste, like fresh, good quality.
Is that authenticity pretty important as far as food or information that you get, or how do you know?
I think it's mostly like you have to kind of go and experience it and eat it
Yeah.
to really get that taste of that's like that authenticity.
Oh wow.
So it's mostly kind of just like finding like what is out there, and then
Yeah.
like kind of like basically what is on offer, and then sometimes combing through other people's comments
Yeah.
and sometimes pictures. Even though some, like now that I've worked at the design school, like I'm like, oh, like the average user is not a good photographer. Like so like food pictures especially are usually just like ugly and boring. So it's like I don't know, like sometimes like reading their comments and trying to get to like what are they talking about, and it's like, oh, like if they're talking about this is really good, go ahead and check it out.
So I'm kind of trying to build a clear picture. You said you work at the design school.
I do.
So what's your role there?
I'm an English teacher.
English teacher.
I'm an English teacher.
Okay.
And I also help out with a lot of the design classes. So like photography, visual design, and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I kind of know these, like when lighting is bad in a picture now, I know that the lighting is bad.
Nice.
And why.
And you said you visited China. I'm assuming your background or your heritage isn't Chinese. Right?
I'm not Chinese
No.
heritage, but I have traveled and worked and traveled and worked there.
Right. So as a teacher, do you spend a lot of money and not a lot of money on this traveling and restaurant business? Or
To be totally honest, when I have traveled extensively in China, it's always connected to teaching. So it's
Yeah.
always connected to getting paid in
so
some
you want
way.
to go for your job.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
just afford to. Well, I mean, maybe for a short time, or
Uh-huh.
like for a more extended. Like I used to live in Beijing for a year, so that was definitely good work.
And do you speak Chinese?
A little bit.
Do you speak more language?
I speak English, French, and Chinese.
Wow. That's cool. Do you like follow people who speak those different languages like online, or do you read different newspapers in French? and
Really.
Chinese?
I sometimes read things in French for sure, and I have
Yeah.
friends who are French, so I will get their social media stuff in French sometimes. And then for Chinese, I can speak Chinese much better than I can write and read, so I can't engage in social media that much
Great.
in Chinese.
And so you said, you said you went to your birthday in Berkeley, right? Do you live
Yeah.
there?
I live in Oakland.
Oh, you live in
Yeah.
Oakland. Oh, okay, cool. And who all did you celebrate with your
My partner,
birthday?
Amnon.
Partner?
Mhm.
And your partner? And what's your partner's name?
Amnon, Amnon.
Amnon?
Amnon.
Oh, great.
He's Israeli.
Israeli?
Yeah.
Do you guys go out to restaurants a lot?
I would say we cook more than we go out. We
Yeah.
definitely go out. I love to eat. I like food and stuff. I like to go out in general, like being out and about. But just in terms of like health, money, and all that, I usually just cook.
Right.
I also enjoy cooking a lot, so it's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not like I'm giving that up or something like that.
Great. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick pause. Thank you so much.
That was
Okay.
really fun.
So